Welcome. Tim Bart's here, McArthur Ford and Salina, Kansas. Everything good. Made a couple changes here to the layout and everything. Wanted to make sure everything's looking good. I think my mic's on and we're all good to go. So welcome everybody to the live stream, episode 54. So we're getting up there on our numbers here. So actually we got more episodes than how old I am, so we're good there. Anyway, just want to welcome in everybody and shout out to the members there. Quite a few in there chatting along. Without me in here, you probably wouldn't even notice if I didn't pop onto the screen. So thank you guys for being in here, and I love the group that we have. This is a great community and a great members and subscriber chat we have going on here. So appreciate everybody coming in, whether you're a subscriber, you're a member. If you're not subscribed, please hit the red subscribe button down below. I think you'll like it. Hit that notification bell. You'll also get notified when we go live, as well as any other videos that go live this week, which we're going to go through some of those as well. I think I've held my promise for the most part this last week, and videos going live. Also, don't forget, we are going to be we're recording this as a audio podcast too. We'll be uploading that to your favorite podcasting channels all over, no matter what you use. 15 different ones there that are available. And if you're watching this on the chat, you can see there's different places. If you're already listening to it, you already have your favorite, right? So, but we are on Spotify and Stitcher, all those different ones right there. So check it out there if you want to. If you want to listen to the version, maybe read and listen to the questions or whatever, or the topic, feel free to go to your favorite podcasting channel and see that. And if you're on a podcasting channel listening to this, you'd like to join us live Tuesday nights, 7 p.m., check us out on our YouTube channel. Link for that is in the description of your podcasting description as well for this this particular live stream, or podcast, I should say. Also, don't forget, if you want to become a member, that we don't need to. We have a lot of members in here. It is something that we just really enjoy our members and have a lot of fun. There's a couple different perks to that. You can find out more information if you go and on any of our videos, or if you just go to our YouTube channel in general, youtube.com/McArthur. You can click on the join button up there by where the subscribe is. If you're already subscribed, it'll say subscribed in gray, and then that join button's there. Click on that. You get a little more information about the different perks that we have with our membership. It's a $5 membership. Feel free to do that. It's not a money generating thing there. In fact, to make sure it's not, we actually send out a nice little welcome package to everybody that joins. So definitely check that out if you want to. Now, if you're watching this on an iPad or an iPhone, you will not see that join button. So it'll look something like this if you're doing this. So it'll look kind of like that, where you don't see that join button beside the subscribe button. But if you go to Safari browser or Google browser on that particular device, you can get there if you click on the little A's in the left-hand corner up there. Click on that, go to your request desktop website. It'll refresh and give you the desktop version where you will be able to see that join button. And at that point, you can join and get the perks in there once you're logged in. Of course, in this particular one, I wasn't logged in. So that's how that will work there. So if you want to do that. So just want to make sure people know how to get to that. Don't forget, if you have any questions, you can see right below the images down here. Right here, if you have any questions, go ahead, FordVideoGuy@gmail. So if I don't answer your question, we'll get to that. If you want any information about sales, that is right down there. So I don't know why I never thought about doing that in the future. 54 episodes to figure this out. Okay. Anyway, so those are down there if you want to contact us. My Linktree account is, see if I get this right, is right over there. There you go. Linktree account. If you want to find out different places you can follow me and find me on social media there. I'll have to practice that one. And also kind of go over some of the videos that we had go live this last week on our YouTube channel here. We did the 23 F-150 Lightning Pro complete guide video. So went over the complete guide videos. I like doing those. It goes over all the standard equipment and different packages available and everything. They're a little bit longer, but I go over everything because the website doesn't, Ford's Build and Price doesn't always have all that information. So we did the Pro version of the Lightning this week. Then we did the Bronco Sport Heritage Limited complete guide. We did the week before. We did the Heritage Edition, the Limited, which is limited to 1,966 units. That went live. We also got the order guide for the 23 Expedition that went live Friday. The order guide we got Friday. The order banks didn't open up until Monday night. Anyway, we'll get started on that. So that kind of comes to point is, when Ford says that order banks are going to open up a certain day, just expect it's going to be the next day, because the earliest I've seen any of them open up is like 4 o'clock in the afternoon that day. So just keep that in mind. Also, we had the 23 F-150 Lightning XLT complete guide video. I wanted to make sure that we got the Pro and the XLT live by last week, but in the meantime, we also got the 23 F-150 Lightning Lariat complete guide that went live yesterday, and the Platinum is almost done. I said, let's not worry about it for this week or for tonight, since we have the live stream. That'll go live tomorrow night if you want to check out that video. So the Platinum will be done. And then we're going to work through the 23 Rangers, XL, XLT Lariat. We'll also hopefully have the changes to the 23 Mach-E, because that's supposed to go live the 25th. So we'll have that as well. So thanks to the new member, Caitlin, there. And I think we had a new member earlier during the introduction there. And so thank you for those that have just joined. Welcome to the membership. Also, you'll check down the description. If you look down the description, we'll have a lot of different links down there. And one of them is to my personal channel, which I haven't uploaded a video in a while, because I just put most of the content here on the McArthur one. It's hard for me to just differentiate that, because what I enjoy doing is what I do for work. So it kind of go hand in hand. So I end up putting most of it on McArthur's channel. Also, we'll be live on Facebook this Thursday night, 7 p.m. The link to that is in the description as well, to that event, if you want to check that out. And as always, I always like to put Johnny's Car Care and Reviews in there. I think we're kind of a partnership in this. I'm getting you guys information out there. Johnny's in Canada, and we can, between him and I, we usually get you all the information you probably need when it comes to Ford information on production, what's going on, and to help you guys out there. And I think we're the two. There's other channels that do some different videos as well, but we are really, I think him and I both just have a passion to help people out and get the information out there. And I love his concept of don't be fooled and know the information, and he delivers that as well. So check out his YouTube channel. He had a video that went live earlier. Usually, if this first time checking this out, but check him out Tuesday nights. He'll always go live or with a premiere video on like 30 minutes to 40 minutes before our video here. It's always good to watch it. I usually listen to it while I'm getting ready for the live stream. And then Friday night, he went live this last Friday night, and I think he's going to be going live again this Friday night for questions as well. So I'll be there, so you can join me Friday night as well and jump in there. But a link to his YouTube channel is down there, so definitely make sure you give him a subscribe as well with this. So, okay. This week, let's go on to the good dealer moment, what I'm calling it. All right, so here I got this from Dennis and Yvonne. They said, my wife and I had the pleasure of going into our local Ford dealership right by our home. Luckily, they have one real nice and close there. Says they were above board in the entire process for ordering and purchasing of our new Ford Maverick. Our sales associate, Andrew Tessini, T-E-S-I-N-I, was very much appreciated, and we had a great experience shopping at Marquette, Ford, and Holyoke, Massachusetts. So there we go. Massachusetts, you know where to go. We just received our new Maverick Lariat Hybrid, and I will be ordering the new Maverick Tremor in September for myself, and we will have a 2 Maverick house. Thanks again, Tim. Truly appreciate it. Sincerely, Dennis and Yvonne. So thank you very much for sending that to me. And I have some others, but I want to try to keep this to one each week. But there you go. There's another good dealership, Marquette, Ford, and Holyoke. I think I said that right. Massachusetts. So there we go. So getting more and more of those out there, and I'm going to I need to go back this week and compile all those that we've talked about already into a spreadsheet for us. So when there are people that contact me all the time, do you know a good dealership here or there? I'm like, I think we talked about one down there, but I can't remember. Then I can give them that, because not everybody's going to be able to order them from us, or they don't want to drive to Salina, Kansas from Massachusetts, right? We need to highlight the good dealerships out there, which is really good. Some of the different forums do the same thing. So if you're looking for a Bronco or a Maverick or whatever, check out those different forums, because a lot of those will actually have a thread of good dealers that are honoring certain pricing. So you can always check those out as well. All right, let's get into scheduling notes. And I actually did double check. In the past, I've been showing you guys the Webdo. I'm not going to do that anymore, because I did read the bottom, and it does say it's confidential information, so I better not show that anymore. But I'll let you know what I can read off of the screen. How about that? So we're going to go through these models, and basically what we're going to do is cover the scheduling notes for those of you that are new and such. What we're going to be doing is highlighting a model, and we're going to let you know that this week, if your order gets scheduled, what weeks it could be scheduled for. So when I say it's going to be scheduled for these weeks, that means your orders are going to be scheduled today. Get a VIN number and it'll be scheduled for those weeks. And so I'll mention some of those. So on the Bronco is scheduling this week. They're looking to schedule for the build dates of 10/3 to 10/17, so 3 different weeks there. And so we have used all of our allocations. All 6 of ours got scheduled last week. Also, there is a note in here that the final orders and spec changes are shut off on 8/25. And what we mean by final orders is, since a retail can't be ordered, stock orders can. So dealers are able to put stock orders for any of these models in there. They may not be selected and they may not be chosen, but this is just giving a warning to dealers. If you want to get that last order in or make any changes to an order, whether it be retail or stock order, they have to be done by the 25th. 22 Bronco Sport is scheduling this week, and they're going to schedule for the build dates of 9/5 to 10/17. This is like their build out month here. So after they get done scheduling these, we had 18 that got scheduled for this month. So we're out of allocations for our dealership, but also they said any final stock orders are due by 9/1 for the 22 Bronco Sport. 22 Edge, that is also scheduling for this week, and they're scheduling for the build dates of 9/5 to 10/17. So looks like they're getting close to their build out as well. We know that we can't order 23s now, so they're building out as well. Final stock orders are due by 8/25. Escape is going to be retail only allocations. We do have some Escapes, 9 Escapes. Oh, by the way, we do have 8 Edge orders available that we still need to schedule. 8 allocations, I should say. Looking at it, I don't think we had any Edges that we're previewing. Nope, none previewing. Escape is scheduling. It does not give any dates. It says retail only. And we do have 9 Escape allocations to be able to be used. None of them are previewing for some reason. I think it's because, oh, well, that makes sense. All the Escapes we have are all stocks. We have actually scheduled all of our retail ones. That's why we probably aren't getting any. So maybe we'll get some stock ones late after they build out for all the retail orders from other dealerships there. 22 Expedition is not scheduling this week. Final stock orders are due 9/8. Expedition, just to kind of look and see, we do have 9 allocations available. So we might get some of those scheduled here next week. 22 Explorer, they are going to be scheduling for the weeks of 10/3 to build weeks of 10/31, so the entire month of October. And Explorer, we have 15 allocations available. Do we have anything previewing? Oh, gotta pick Explorer. We do have some previewing. Let's see if we have any retails previewing. All stock. I think all of our retails have been scheduled for those models. So as you can see, we're going to talk about allocations in just a little bit as the topic. And by the way, I did change my notes there. I like for you guys to be able to go along and see what's up next, what we're going to talk about next as we get through the episode. And then of course, when we get to the Q&A, that's when I want your questions. And we'll tag @McArthur at that time. Right now, I'm probably not going to read a lot of these, just going to want to get through some of this news in here. So. But you'll notice Explorer is one of those that we'll talk about where, you know, there's enough orders and not enough people ordering retail Explorers, and retail means customers. So if you're out there yourself, a customer, if you're putting in an order, if I'm putting in an order for an Expedition, then that would be a retail order. So instead, there's retail and there's stock orders. So just so you know that. And so stock orders on Explorers, final stock orders are due 9/1. 22 F-150. See how many we have. We have 20 allocations. It doesn't look like they plan to schedule any of our allocations this week. It says they're scheduling for the week of 10/10. Final stock orders and spec changes are closed. That actually happened, I think, yesterday, or recently anyway, within the last week anyway. So F-150, do we have any that are previewing? So last week we had, nothing previewing for us. So I think we have most of our retail scheduled for 22s. Let's look here. Go to 22. Let's go to unscheduled. Yeah, we have a few. Have to have at least one. We have 56 that still need to be scheduled of retail. So, but I think we have another month to kind of do some of those, or at least the rest of this month. All right, Maverick. 22 Maverick, we do have 10 allocations left. That is scheduling for the weeks of 10/17 or the week of 10/24. It does say final orders and spec changes due by 9/1, which means if you want to make any changes to a retail order, or if you want to try to put a stock order in, not like you're going to get it anyway, but if you can put it in if you want to, by 9/1. And let's see, we have 10 allocations. Do we have any previewing? And I think this is actually one where we actually have some models previewing, some retails, and I'll actually go through, and since I don't know about showing you the screen here, I'll actually go through the orders. There we go. And I did notice earlier, we do have 10 previewing. Of those 10, 7 of the 10 are hybrids. 10 out of 10 are Lariat trim, and I believe several of those actually are also the luxury package. So evidently they're trying to fill in holes here, and for us, they're looking at, in this our region, I should say, they're looking at Lariat, and they're scheduling hybrids as well as EcoBoost. So when they told us they were only going to schedule EcoBoost, I guess that wasn't 100% true, because we have a bunch of our hybrids looking to get scheduled. I think of our EcoBoost, though, I was really surprised at the EcoBoost orders that some of them were in from January. So even though we have some December orders in there, there's some Januaries. But I did notice of the January orders that were being looked at and previewing, they do not have the luxury package on them. So that's something to take note of. So if you want to, if your orders here, I'll just read these off. If you're a B872, yours is previewing, or B883, and these are orders with us. In case those are watching along and they don't know how I do this, these are only our orders. I can't look up anybody else's orders. If you have an order with us, it's D42P, that's previewing, J25H, J70H, M01S, actually I know who that is, that's an employee here, M91J, B907, it's an EcoBoost order, M36M, and T32C. Those are the orders that are previewing for us, and probably a good shot that those are going to get scheduled here on the next couple of days. So moving on down. Mustang, it is scheduling for the weeks of 10/3 to 10/24, and we do have quite a few Mustang allocations. In fact, it was really weird. We had a bunch previewing last week, and none of them scheduled, even after they were previewing. So we do have, I think, 8 allocations available, or maybe 6. And then we have 5 previewing right now. 1 retail, which is a Mach-1, that's C03H, and the rest are stock allocations. The Mach-E, we actually had 6 Mach-E scheduled last week. It was amazing. We had like 1 allocation, but I got 6 scheduled. Not sure how that worked, but so we probably do not have. We have, actually it says we have 1 allocation. Oh, we had 7 allocations. Where did I see 1? We have 1 left. We had 6 out of 7 scheduled last week, 1 allocation. They are trying to finish out Mach-E's as much as they can. Do we have any? We don't have any previewing this week. Do we have any left unscheduled? Or unscheduled? Let's look. We have 1 retail still unscheduled. So if you have one out there, maybe that one will show up as being previewing tomorrow and get scheduled. But pretty good shot, because I know they were thinking that maybe some of the Mach-E's would have to get rolled over from 22 to 23. For us, we only have 2 unscheduled. One's a stock, one's a retail. We always leave a stock in there just in case we get lucky. And this one is one that I don't see why it shouldn't get scheduled. The Select E-all-wheel drive should get scheduled here pretty soon, and probably next week. Ranger. We do not have any Ranger allocations. They are scheduling for the weeks of 10/5 to 10/3. Final stock orders are closed for 22 Ranger. I think the reason we don't have any allocations, we earned any, is because of our sales. We'll talk about allocations, how that works. But anyway, moving on. Super Duty 22. We have 4 allocations available yet. They are scheduled for the week of 10/19 or the week of 10/26. We don't have any previewing right now. So, and that might change every day. Tuesday, they preview. Wednesday, they could, different orders could preview. So anyway, so Transit 10 is scheduling for this is 23 Transit, I should say, scheduling for the week of 10/17, and we don't have any Transit Yep. No transit. We don't have Transit Connect orders either. 22 Transit Connect is scheduling for the weeks of 10/17 or 10/24. Does say final stock orders are due 8/25. We don't stock. We don't stock Transit Connects. No. We got 2 recently, not too long ago, and we sold them. But anyway, all right. Moving on to the Lincoln side. 23 Aviator scheduling this week for the weeks of 10/3 or 10/24. We do have 1 Aviator allocation. Do we have any previewing? None. We don't have any previewing today. 22 Corsair, they're saying retail only, just like the Escape. We do have, for Corsair, we have 3 allocations available. And do we have any? This might be boring. Some of you don't have orders with us, but that's all right. You got to deal with me. All right. We do have 1 previewing, M40L. If you have that, then chances are pretty good. 22 Nautilus is scheduling this week for the weeks of 9/5 to 10/17. You'll notice, for those that haven't watched my videos, Aviator goes along with Explorer, Corsair along with Escape, Nautilus along with Edge, and Navigator along with Expedition. So whenever it does, they'll mirror each other. So Nautilus is scheduling final stock orders are due 8/25, and we have 13 Nautilus allocations. But it says it's scheduling, but I don't think we. Yeah, there we go. We have 7 that are looked at, all stock. We don't. I think we've scheduled all of our retails, so these are all stock allocations. So we could use that in inventory. That's definitely for sure. 22 Navigator. We have no scheduling this week. Final stock orders are due 9/8. So no scheduling this week. We do have 2 allocations available, but they're not going to schedule those. So there you go. That's got through the scheduling notes and information. So hopefully, if you have any questions about that when we get to the Q&A, then you can pop those in. I can answer those questions. Now, moving on to the dealer news updates. A couple things here. One is 23 model year F-150 Lightning Pro extended range, the 99V option, which is that extended range option for fleet customers only. That's closed out now. So if those fleet companies that wanted to get a pro version put in, now they'd have to go to the standard range. The extended range is sold out, so you cannot order any of those. 23, now that doesn't affect any retail customers, so because retail customers cannot get the extended range anyway. It's not an option for them. That's just for fleet customers. Now moving to 23 F-150 Lightning Wave 1 invites. They had to have ordered their pro order by yesterday. So this came out like on Wednesday, and I'm like, what? It's Wednesday and it's due before the live stream, so I wasn't able to get this out. But so that's why you want to make sure you kind of follow me. But Wave 1 people, basically what this means, if you had a Wave 1, then you extended yours invite to 23 because the Pro was sold out. So those people, when they got their invites for Wave 1, then they had till yesterday to get their Pro version order in. Now, if they decide to go with XLT, Lariat, or Platinum, they still have till September 30th to make that selection. So, but the Pro, they're locking that out. I think they want to see how they're doing. They're probably for Wave 2 open it up because Wave 2 invites are going out at the end of this week. So, in fact, I think that's actually tomorrow. I think that's going out. Those are going out tomorrow. So that might open it back up for those that maybe want it. But they did give them a deadline because they wanted to have that order so they can know when they send out the next invite what if they need to put that sold on the Pro version or not. They need to know that information. So also 22 model year to 23 model year F-150 Lightning carryovers will happen this week for any unscheduled 22 orders. So that's so basically, if you had a 22 order that you was able to submit, you got an invite, you ordered, it hasn't been scheduled yet. They're going to start carrying those over to 23 model year here this week. So I kind of felt bad because we did have one customer that had a that was still unscheduled, and I'm like, man, I'm not sure why they're not scheduling. And then it dawned on me. I cover these every week that the onboard scales and the smart hitch removal need to be put on those orders. And I looked at his order and we hadn't put that on his order. So we called today. Hopefully we can get that added to his order. I don't know if he was able to do that or not, so that we could get his scheduled this week, so it doesn't have to carry over to 22. Looks like it's still sitting there. It's still sitting there. So 22, but we did get the one that did get his from this week actually got he did order his pro version this week. So anyway, so good news there. All right, so something else that came up this week: the 23 model year Super Duty multi-contoured seats with active motion availability will return to the limited Platinum and King Ranch Ultimate package after September 5th, 2022. So what's this mean? Well, we know on some of the versions where you were not able to get multi-contoured seats with the active motion, can't get it on the Lightning right now, that is going to be removed. You do not have to add the option 91X. It'll be removed from orders. So if you have an order that's scheduled to be built after 9.5 for a Super Duty that has the multi-contoured seats, you will have them. So that's a nice update. People prior to that, sorry. Can't help you out there. But they will be taking off that option 91X for those orders that are scheduled to be built starting after 9.5. And so those will get the multi-contoured seats with the active motion. So that's possibly a good, we're heading in the right direction, and we'll see others, in that direction as well. And then last one for dealer notes, they did send us a little memo to remind people about Join the Stampede. Sorry, Ford announces the global debut of the next-gen Mustang on September 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's our time, 7 p.m. here at the Detroit Auto Show. So it'll be at the Detroit Auto Show. They're going to reveal the next-gen Mustang there. So, we'll be doing that. I probably won't do that live. I tried that once. It didn't go over very good. Didn't have the audio. I don't know. Anyway, so I probably won't try that again, but we will maybe talk about it. I'll probably record it and maybe talk about it afterwards there. So yeah, there we go. Oh, by the way, if you do have questions, Sarah is in the live stream here. My daughter, my assistant, she's in the live stream. She's been answering a lot of questions. She answers a lot of the emails as well. She's in here. She can answer a lot of your questions because she edits all my videos, so she knows the stuff, and she hears me. She hears me talk about these twice. She sits over there while I'm recording the video, and then she has to edit and listen to it while I'm doing it. So she's getting the message twice when she does those. So she's getting updated on that information. So she'll be answering your questions in there. You can always tag her if you want to. It makes it easier for her. Or you just put the @McArthur, and she can answer those questions while I'm rambling on here. Order guide updates. So this week we did get the 23 Expedition order guide that happened on Friday. So go over, I did do a video on this, I linked it in the description, but just briefly go over a couple things. Not much change in the way of the series updates for, what models are available. XL, basically for retail customers, you get an STX package on the XL. XLT is available, Timberline, Limited, King Ranch, and Platinum. So that didn't change any. They did add Trail 1 pedal drive on the Timberline, making that a true off-road vehicle for that. So that's nice. You see that in the Bronco. So you're going to have that with the Timberline edition. Another change to the Timberline is that they changed the 501A, had that. I love the interior of this. It was that, why am I not thinking of words now? The deep cypress interior on the 501A, they changed that to the black, to the ebony interior on the 501A. It's kind of a bummer. I think that's a beautiful interior. Evidently, maybe had some bad memos on it. I don't know. Anyway, so that was changed on the Timberline. Also on the Timberline, it'll come standard with the all-weather mats, or they call it the floor liners. First and second row with the carpeted mats are now standard on Timberline. What else? They deleted the color Rapid Red, and they replaced it with Jewel Red Metallic Tinted Clear Coat. Again, I haven't seen that color. I think it's a little bit darker than the Rapid Red. And then they did bring in a new paint color. It's not new to the Ford lineup, but it's new to the fleet customers and those people that can buy the XL. They can now get race red in their vehicles, which makes sense. You see a lot of those Expeditions used as the fire chiefs and that kind of stuff, and they usually like to have race red, put the white graphics on the vehicle. So now they can order that in race red instead of white and putting red graphics and vinyls on it, right? So that makes sense. Other than that, not much change. They did add cargo mats is now a DIO. So cargo mat will be shipped to the dealer, and dealership will put it in your vehicle. And also they added universal garage door opener or they deleted the universal garage door opener from the XL series. Doesn't really need to be on that. I think that's more of a luxury thing. So there you go. So there's order guide updates for the Expedition there. And then also on the F-150, 23 F-150 Lightning. Don't forget Wave 2 invites are going out tomorrow. And a couple notes on that. I found a couple corrections, some things to fix on the order guide. If you watch my Lariat video, I had a couple of times where I mentioned some things that I thought this is what's true because this is what the order guide says, but the website says something different. Got clarification from the brand manager for the F-150 Lightning. Took a little while, but got an email back from him. Heated seats are going to be standard on all of the trims. Does mention on the Pro version, but then also mentions as an upgrade on the XLT. Is not an upgrade on XLT because it's standard on all series on the F-150 Lightning, so they get standard heated seats. Don't forget they've removed the AM radio. I don't know if I mentioned that on my what's changed. No AM radio. Kind of weird, but no AM radio. So if you want to listen to that football game, you can't do it. It's not all the football games around here. Kansas City Chiefs, whatever. You go to the AM stations, you can get all the different college games and everything. Anyway, not able to do that. Also, they removed these as standard the mobile power cord. It's now $500 option for you. So the order guide automatically checks it. I think it deceives you on that, but it's actually you're paying $500. So if you don't need it, don't want it, save $500. Then that's standard. Also, the onboard scales smart hitch removal is required with the tow tech package. So if you get the tow tech package, your dealer will have to add that option, just like with us. That customer did the tow tech package and they ordered back then. That removal wasn't required, so we did not edit their order. Right now, I know I had somebody that mentioned it on Facebook on one of my videos that said, I ordered it without it. You don't have to do that. You don't have to remove it. You don't have to add that option. And like I told him, I says, it may not have been an option for you to be able to add, but I'll tell you, your vehicle will not get scheduled unless your dealer adds that option for you. So take your chances if you want to. If you haven't been scheduled for a couple months, then you might think about it. But anyway, some people don't trust me. And on the 511A, they removed the partitioned lockable rear storage. I had it was on the 511A last year. That was removed, was not put in any changes on the order guide. It was also showing on the website as a part of the 511A for the Lariat trim. That is not correct. It is not part of that package. It is missing rain sensing wipers as part of that on their website. So they need to take off the partitioned lockable rear storage, add the rain sensing wipers to the 511A. So it's something that needs to be done. And I did get some clarification on phone as a key, which is showing it's available on anything that has Blue Cruise. So if you have the active, whether it be on the Platinum, which is standard, or as part of the 511A, or you add an optional on the 510A, you're supposed to get phone as a key. My vehicle doesn't have phone as a key, and I'd asked about that, and he said, well, that's because on the 22, it actually is going out as an OTA update, and that's how you'll get it. So I haven't evidently gotten the OTA, but the 23s are supposed to be delivered with that active, or the dealer's supposed to activate it upon delivery, from what he said. And the multi-contoured seats with active motion removal will need to be put on the Platinum trim. So keep that in mind. If you have a Platinum trim, still having issues with that one, well, maybe because what we're seeing from Super Duty, maybe we'll get lucky and they'll change that on the Lightning coming up, but we'll just have to see. Yes, you still get the Johnny. I just noticed Johnny's comment there. 511 Lariat 511A still does get the Pro Charger. Yes, any extended range are still going to get the 80 amp Pro Chargers. Mine finally came in. I did have to call Sunrun to get them to come in, but I did get mine shipped finally. Mine arrived. I just need to get an electrician to put it in. All right, so Ford in the news. I have a link down the description for the Maverick Tremor package. We now have some graphics, some spy shots of what that Tremor appearance package is going to look like. You'll have to get the Tremor package to add the Tremor appearance package, but now we have some graphics of what that's going to look like. Actually, I have some notes on it, so I might read some of those as we kind of see those. So here's a front shot of that. You'll see there. Now remember, this appearance package is going to be you add to the off-road package. You get the some black exterior accents. Actually, it's gray. You see the mirror caps are gray to kind of match with the wheels. Your roof looks like is going to be black. So you're going to see that as well. Gray stripes. So let's see if I can show you those. There you go. You can kind of see the gray stripe at the bottom. So you'll get the grayscale stripes applied to the door. Also says to the hood. So go back to that one. I can't really see it on the hood much, but maybe they're on the hood a little bit. So there you go. And then on the back, you really don't see too much on the back, up back there. So you also, it says the unique front grille, lower fascia you're already getting as part of that package. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's more of an exterior appearance package. I don't know. Is it worth the $14.95? You're getting a painted roof. The mirror caps are, going to be painted instead. Like on the Lariat, it'll be body colored on those mirror caps. XLT will just be the black mirror caps. So, do you want those upgraded? The graphics, are they enough there? I don't know. It's something for you to think about. Not sure if I was getting it. I see enough benefit. I don't know if I like the black roof, to be honest. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe I should do a poll. So not right now. Anyway, so there you go. There's some shots of that out there. Now, moving on down to our list, is it true for this week? I actually struggled with this one because I had a couple things. In fact, what I'm going to talk about was possibly going to be my topic until last night. And then I updated my topic. But microchip issues, are they back at the Hermosillo plant? Hopefully I said that right. By now I should be able to say it. I've been staying away from that word because I just don't do well with that. So what I did was this weekend, I spent a little time and I pulled up a lot of our orders. Let me pull this up here. That were basically that are looking to be scheduled. Okay, so here's my list here that are looking to be scheduled. So these here are our orders. Again, these are just our orders that are either in production if they're in yellow, or they're scheduled to either the day or to the week if they're in green. Kind of my color code. Just got to bear with me here. So you can see those are all of our orders, quite a few. I didn't even count them. I know the list goes down to 135 with a couple blanks in there. So probably got, 130 or 100, at least 125 orders that are either in production or in processing, which remember that number when we talk later about allocations here. But there you go. These are all the orders. Now, I did look because I said I think a lot of them are waiting on chips because I did see people that have reached out to me on a couple orders. These people here, here's your order number. We had some that were, that said return from body company but had not been finished saying produced or saying released. And so 3 of them, I thought there would be more than that, but there were only 3, but they did say microchip at plant on hold as the notes for these orders. So I noticed this as well as somebody else that emailed me and said they had one that was built, I think, the same week. So if you have one that maybe was built in July, then more than likely it's probably waiting on a chip hold. And you probably already know that because you've been waiting and waiting. We have several of these. We do have several on here that were produced almost 2 weeks ago now that still haven't shipped out. Some that say returned from body company, some say produced, and some that just returned from the body company here recently. So we're waiting for those to be, sent out and shipped out. So I did not include in here ones that have already just been shipped out or they're in transit off this list. These are just ones that are in production still and haven't been released from the plant. But you can see I kind of put that in there by the different dates in here. But I think there are some issues. We also do see some Bronco Sports that are being held up right now, some of our Bronco Sports, because of a microchip hold. So haven't seen that for a while. Just started popping up here in July. It was going really good. Didn't have any issues. So I still think they are having some microchip issues. Ford told us they think they're done with the microchip issues, but when we start looking at it, we still have customers that have them, and whenever they say have a microchip issue, they end up on a list for Ford called vehicles on wheels, which means the vehicles are built, but they can't ship them out. So they're ready to go. They're on the wheels, that kind of thing. And this they're what they call it. And these are orders that are on their list. So, and we are having some at the Bronco plant as well. So microchip issues are not over. And I guess that's my point is microchips issues aren't over. This one customer that emailed me because the reason he emailed me was if you're a member, you'll know why he probably emailed me, because on members, we do a weekly video every Saturday just for my members. And we actually talk about some possible things that I might be talking about this next week and brainstorming. And then I like getting input from them. And a lot of them will message me, comment, or even email me. And this customer did say that. Says, I have a first edition in production. I ordered on 7/29/21. It was initially scheduled finally for a build of 5.2, which was then changed to 5.9, which was then changed to 5.16, which was then changed to 6.6, which was then changed to 6.27, which was then changed to 7.4. So on 7.5, I got the your vehicle has been built email, and it is an estimated delivery date to my dealer of August 3rd to August 9th. But the tracker never changed to built. I checked it every single day, and it remained in this status. On Tuesday of this week, 8/16, I got another updated email with another projected delivery date of 8/26 to 9/1. But again, the tracker remained the same. Yesterday, then my dealer called me and confirmed that the vehicle was indicated as chip hold, which is what I figured. So anyway, so he thought this would be great information. It's another situation where there are some chip holds still. So there are some issues. What I am seeing though, and same thing happened with my Expedition, which I'll give you an update on that in just a little bit. So my Expedition did the same thing where it was built, it was put off, it was waiting for a chip. Well, vehicles that were built right after it were built with the chips and moved on while they were putting chips in these other vehicles that could not get them put in, right? So my vehicle actually sat there for a month waiting on a chip while they were still producing vehicles with chips at the Kentucky plant. And they're doing the same thing here, because you will see on our list here, see if I can pull that back up, you can see these were Microchip hold built in July, but here we have these ones a month later that are built and produced, right? So they'll get shipped out here probably any time. In fact, this was from Saturday. If I check this today, half of these probably have already been shipped out or been released from the plant. So I'll have to look them up, and that kind of thing. But so, yeah, you got that. These others are sent to plant. Kind of shows you, because I looked at it on Saturday. These actually had the status sent to plant. That's usually when you get that status. As soon as you get that, that's when you get that email from Ford, just so you know that. So anyway, so I think there's still a chip issue, but I think hopefully it's getting better. But depending on when you get yours, it's kind of the luck of the draw. My Expedition, it held up because of chips, and so it was, we had vehicles that were being built right after it with the chips and shipped on when mine sat there and waited on the chips. So they're not putting them on, in order that they came. It's not first in, first out, and saying, okay, well, we have chips in. Well, give them to the line. Let's get these vehicles going, and we can keep them going, and then take the other half and take them out there and start putting them on the vehicles that are out there on the lot. So that's kind of what happened. Just as an update for mine, I did look up today, got a new update today that my Expedition is in Kansas City. It's in Kansas. Well, it could be in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, but it is close. So we're getting close on the Expedition. Still has a delivery date of this weekend to possibly next week. Actually, looks like it'd be Sunday at the earliest, probably. I think the 26th to the 1st. What is that? This Friday, Saturday, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to make an email to the Ford rep and say, you told me once it gets to Kansas City to let you know, and you can hot list it. So I'm going to see if we can get it hot listed and get it here. But I told my wife, I said, it's on a train. She goes, you know what? I don't even believe it. I won't hear it until I see it. I won't believe it is even there. I don't even think you ordered it. So, so at this point, she doesn't trust me until she actually sees it in person. She won't believe it. So hopefully by this time, hopefully by the live stream next week, it'll be here. So cross our fingers. Right, so we'll see. So good vibes going there. All right, so tonight's topic is on the dealer allocations. How are dealer allocations earned, and how will it affect your order? And how this came up was that a webcast went out 8/19, which I totally missed. It was last week, but those at Granger Ford, they did watch the webcast and was able to watch the information in the change. So Ford is changing the allocation system. They did it a year ago, and made emphasis on COVP orders and giving extra allocations to COVP orders. Actually, I was going to look that up. I think I have. Let me grab this. I keep all my notes. There we go. So basically, this is one for September, October production that we did for August. And they'll actually give you what your allocations are based on the formula we're going to kind of go over here in just a little bit. But then they give you extra allocations for COVP orders. So depends on how many COVP orders you have. So like for us, on which really isn't a lot, it's usually just a few. And so like for us, like on the Edge, we earned 7 normal allocations, and then we gained 3 COVP allocations. Well, on the Maverick, because of the way the Maverick didn't have a lot of historical data, because they hadn't been selling for 12 months, because usually it's the allocations based on your 12-month selling average. We didn't have that for the Maverick, right? And so we would usually get 0 for that, and then they'd give us a COVP number, which, like for us last month, was 18, and we got 18 allocations. Most of the vehicles, Super Duty, we gained 1 COVP allocation. We got 0 for F-150. In fact, we got 0 for everything else. 4 for Bronco. So again, Bronco was 1. Again, because there's not a lot of historical sales data, they went away from that system and added COVP orders. So a year ago, once we, dealers realized this, and they jumped on and getting those orders in, right? And we did it last year with the Maverick, with a lot of others, telling our customers, hey, if you want to get a vehicle, you want to get MSRP pricing, you want to get it quicker, because we have no inventory in a lot, you need to put in an order. And we did COVP approved orders, and those dealers that were actually submitting orders into COVP were getting those orders, and they were getting the allocations because of those orders. And so Ford was emphasizing that. So now what's happened is, starting this month, we think it's going to start in September, they are going back to, in a sense, they're going back to the original allocation system, but they're adding a second allocation each month. So let's go through this and what information that someone here at the dealership, yet to be named, because I don't want it going out there anywhere and getting him in trouble or anything, but he kind of went through this with us and said, here's basically this is kind of the way this works. So let me pull this up, and hopefully I get this right, because I do want to put my picture up there in the screen. There we go. So I'm going to have this up for a while. So allocations will happen. It does say mid-month. So we don't know if that's going to happen for the middle of September coming up, because we are supposed to be doing allocation at the end of this, start of next week, next Monday. They're coming to do some allocations for us, or wholesale is what they call it. So we don't know if that's going to be our allocation number 2, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, or allocation 1. So mid-month, all dealers will have allocation number 1. And basically the way that's going to work is the share of the region, right? And that's you're getting basically, you look at the share of the region. So we are in the Kansas City region, along with Granger Ford, by the way. We are probably the number 1 and 2 Maverick dealers in this region. So who's going to get the most Maverick allocations? It's going to be us. Bronco, I'm sure we're probably not even number 2 on Bronco, because we didn't emphasize and really hit Bronco that much, but we did, Granger did real big, right? So anyway, basically they're going to be looking at a 12-month history of your sales. They're no separate COVP. So the next line down there where it says sales, it says rolling 12-month number, right, is a percentage as share of region, right? So here's an example that they used in the webcast that they showed us, that they said 60% of the factor of your allocations come from a sales factor. So if regional, they're saying, that's, for instance, in this case, the region is getting 100 allocations to be used for their Kansas City region dealers, then the dealer, whatever the dealer percentage is, the share of the region 12-month sales, let's say, for instance, this dealer gets 3% of the region's sales. So for that particular model, every model is specifically different, depends on what they are. For us, we're going to get a big bulk of the Maverick sales, because we've been selling, so far this month, I think we're at 12, or even more. I think we're almost at 20 for this month. So we're probably one of the higher dealers in the Kansas City region for Maverick sales. And so that's what you're going to be looking at. So let's say in this case, the dealer is at 3% of the share of the region based on their 12-month sales factor, right? And so in that case, you're looking at 30. So 30 is your sales factor. So you take that times 60, because then it's weighted at 60% of that. So that means 18, you're going to get 18 allocations from the sales factor. The other 40% of their allocations are going to come from availability, which is going to be your region's availability, let's say. And so in this case, they're looking at the region's availability is 2,000. What they're saying is availability is what is coming in the pipeline, what is in transit. We kind of talked about the vehicles over here that are produced. They're not in transit yet, so they don't get counted. But once they are shipped out and they're in transit, that's considered an available unit. And so in this case, they're saying the region has 2,000 available regions availability plus the $1,000 they're going to produce. So they're saying a total availability between production that they're giving allocations for already that they put above and the 2,000 that are already available either at the dealer lots or that are in transit. That's 3,000 total. Keeping to that same dealer percentage, a share of nation for 12 months, 3%. That gives a sales factor of desired availability at 90. And then they're going to subtract the dealer's actual availability, and they're in this case they're using 78 as that number. Then that gives you an available factor of 12 times 40% gives you another 4.8 vehicles, and they always round down. So you're going to see that dealer would get 22 allocations for that particular model for that first allocation number. So there's 22 allocations they would get. So there's kind of the formula that they gave us in the webcast. Now there's a second part of that, and that is allocation number 2. So there is going to be a second allocation at end of month, and this is based on your sales velocity analysis percentage in 3 months share of nation. So basically, what we call it is turn and burn. You want to sell those cars as quickly as possible so you can earn more allocations for that second allocation. So share of the sales velocity analysis is made up of the month-end sales divided by the month-end sales plus the amount of dealer stock you have, right? Month-end stock. So let's, in this case here, they're using an example here that the region rapid replenishment volume is 300. That's how many more units, how many more allocations the region's going to get at the end, right? And the dealer SVA versus calculated above is 68%. And actually that 68, that's our number, our current number last month was 68%. So divided by the regional SVA is 72%, that the dealer's SVA, divided by the regional is 94%. And so based on the same share of region number we used earlier, 3%, you're going to get 2.83% of the 300, which in this case is 8 more units, giving you a grand total of 30 for the month. So that's kind of, very simple, right? Simple. That's so simple, right? Not complex at all. Like we talked about, very, very simple math, I mean, that's easy to figure out, but that's kind of how the allocations are going to go. But they are taking away the COVP. And there are, I know Granger's concerned, they want to make sure they're taking care of their customers. And so they really want to help them out. They want to make sure that their customers that have an order already, that they are going to get allocated. So they're talking about not taking any orders at the beginning of the month. And I commend them on taking care of their customers. They've been great. They've always are ahead of things and on top of things, and always are in the different groups and helping people out. So they're in our region, but they're not, a competitor to us because they're grouped in a different dealer group as us within our region, but we still share with that same number. But us at McArthur still plan on taking orders because we still feel like when we're looking at it, that because of the sales we had throughout this last year, that's going to set us up for allocations that we're going to earn for Maverick this next year and each month. And so as we sell them, we're going to get them. Looking back over here at this Google Doc, all these vehicles are going to come into McArthur. We have all these vehicles here. So how many did that account to? We have 18 that are in production right now that we're going to be getting. So if those get released anytime soon, we're going to see all those in the month of September as being delivered. These here that are being produced and August, at the end of August, we should start seeing those, some of them as early as the end of September or early October. And then look at all these. All those are coming in. Those are going to, almost all those will come in the month of October. So we're going to have a huge amount of sales. 12 months rolling, you know, that's we have never had a month lower than about 10 to 12 Maverick sales in a 1 month. So we're going to continue to get the allocations that we need. So we're not really that concerned. We know it might be a different change in that, but it's basically is the way we looked at it is it's rewarding the dealerships that are selling their vehicles and they don't have a lot of stock inventory. So they're again, Ford's come up with a way of trying to eliminate the dealer stock inventory and selling quickly and moving it. So they're rewarding dealers by turning those vehicles really quickly and then giving them rewards at the end of the month, because if they look in there and let's say you sell 100 vehicles, right, and then you have 120 and you have 20 vehicles left, well, now that's 120, so that's you're almost a 1-to-1, right? You don't have that much left, so that percentage is going to be higher, so you're going to get a higher percentage of the rest of those units that were left for the allocation number 2. And so that's why it's really important to sell quickly and sell those. So if you do have orders with us, we are going to ask you, you know, when those vehicles come in, we need to, as soon as they come in, I know you want to take delivery as quick as possible, but we definitely want to make sure we are selling those vehicles and getting the paperwork done right away so that we can keep it moving, so that the days of that vehicle being available on the lot as availability gets minimized. If a vehicle comes in, it's sold. It doesn't hit the days in stock, right, or that it's on that list. It's right to sold. So it's going to be in transit and sold. And so that's what we want to do. So, you know, with a dealer that has done a lot of COVP orders and a lot of customer orders like we have, I think we'll be fine. I think you're still gonna see plenty of allocations for dealers like McArthur and other dealers that have been doing those custom orders. Dealerships that didn't jump onto that, like Ford told them to, they're probably going to struggle. They probably will not have the sales because they weren't ordering vehicles. So we consistently, for McArthur, our goal has always been to sell 100 new vehicles, even during COVID. And a lot of dealers struggled with that, and we were still selling 100 vehicles during COVID because we were using and we learned this, and we kept going with this, and we were able to continue to keep selling 100 vehicles a month. And by taking orders and knowing that Ford's going to build the custom orders first instead of the stock orders, we have vehicles coming in, and like the other day we had, I think within a couple of days we had 25 units come in. Of those 25, 23 to 25 were sold units. So again, quick turns and we'll be fine. So even though they took away the allocations, they gained a second allocation thing in there. So the COVPs are going to be replaced. And because now we have for Maverick, we have a whole year of sales data, 12 month, we're going to have an average that they can use. And we had a couple months where we sold 60 Mavericks back in March and April, where we sold 60 each of those 2 months. So we've sold over 250 or more. I think I haven't looked for a month, but so we're probably about 270 sold Mavericks. So we're selling a lot of Mavericks each month. And so we're going to get allocations because we have that sales data, and we're selling a lot more than other dealers in our region of the Maverick. So we don't feel like there's going to be a problem getting allocations for the Maverick or for the other vehicles that we're selling. You know, that's just the possibility. One of the benefits, I was going to mention this, I almost forgot about it, is this is a benefit to you customers. So if you're looking to get a stock vehicle, we went through our inventory. We talked about what we have coming in, looking at the new allocation. What dealers are going to do, they're going to start lowering the price on their vehicles. So of their stock vehicles, you know, you're seeing these vehicles that are stock vehicles, a customer didn't take, it's got to go on the lot. Well, that was assuming it was going to be a sold customer. We don't want that to stick on the lot very long. We're going to price that to sell. We're not, so you're going to see dealers now, and we've already seen it. Prices are coming down drastically real fast on those new vehicles because of this new allocation. They know they won't get allocations if we don't get those vehicles sold. So it's only going to benefit you guys as the customers. We want to get benefit. We want to get allocations. We need to keep getting allocations so we can sell 100 vehicles. And to do that, we're going to have to make sure that we're selling these stock vehicles quickly, so we don't keep a lot of stock in inventory. So our goal is going to be to sell those quickly. So that is a benefit to you as customers. If you're looking, maybe you didn't get that order and you don't want to wait 6 months to a year, look for stock inventory or stock vehicle, and we're going to see prices coming down. So hopefully we see the Maverick prices on those in stock Mavericks coming down as well. but we're already seeing it on a lot of vehicles where you could price vehicles up, and now we're going to start seeing that come down. We have very few vehicles, if any, that are marked up over MSRP at this time. In fact, I think we only have maybe a handful. I think we have some Raptors that are over MSRP and maybe one Bronco Sport Badlands edition, and that's about it. Everything else we have at MSRP or below, and so you're going to start seeing that, I believe, here coming up real soon with this new allocation system. If dealerships are paying attention, they're going to want to start moving that inventory. So anyway, there you go. That's kind of what I want to do. So let's get into some comments here. If you have anything to talk about on that, or maybe any other questions about production, anything I've talked about already as part of that list, then throw it in there. And don't forget to put the @ McArthur. You want to make sure you spell it just like it is on the screen, right? Let's see if I can get this right again. Right there, right? Do the @ McArthur. Anyway, it turns up orange for me so I can see it. Oh, here come the questions. Okay, so let's go up here. Ed, I'm going to start with Ed's up here. Ed C, he says, so Tim, COVP is not required. No, it is still required and it's still very important. Your order will not be looked at unless it is COVP approved, but they are not giving dealerships allocations based on how many COVP orders they have. So that is a great question. Thank you, Ed, for bringing that up. I should probably read the rest of the question. It says, and do you think the new allocations model will provide you with more allocations than were obtained last year with the old model using COVP? I think it's going to be about the same. I really don't think I don't think it's going to penalize dealers if you are getting COVP orders and you were delivering vehicles from COVP and they were legit. I think it's going to benefit. I think it's going to be no different. I think you're still going to get it, because if you were getting COVP orders and you were delivering those vehicles, then you're getting the sales. So your sales numbers are going to be up there. So I don't think it's going to hurt you from what we were looking at and researching today on this. But I guess we'll gain more knowledge on Monday when we do our wholesale meeting with a Ford rep. They'll go over it with us again, and we'll learn a little bit more. So Cruiser said, how do I know if my local dealer is ethical and not one of those places that marks up way past MSRP? I would say do some research on the dealer. Look at their Google reviews. That can make an impact. You can see some things there. Go in. I actually did a video a couple weeks ago, and I actually want to maybe edit that video to make it its own video where I talked about some of the things you want to ask your dealer and see how dodgy they are with the questions and the answers for that, and that might help you out there. All right, KDT said, if my order is being previewed by Ford, should I expect to get scheduled for 2022? More than likely. We have seen situations, in fact, that happened with my Bronco once, where my order is being previewed one week and it did not schedule that week. And then the next week it was previewing again, and then it did schedule. So it just means that they do some previewing on Tuesday. Tomorrow I might look at those orders, and it may not be it may have no hybrids in there. So they start previewing some of those orders, but it's not a guarantee. I shouldn't say that, but it's a very good chance, I should say, that it's going to get scheduled for that week if your order is being previewed. All right. Wayne said, exactly why am I purchasing through McArthur, Tim Bartz, plus they, exactly why I am purchasing through McArthur, plus they're nice folks. Well, thank you. All right, Charles. Whoa, I just lost a bunch of questions here. All right, Charles said, I called to add a trailer hitch receiver, and my dealer said Ford locked the system and Ford may be previewing it. Would that be accurate, and could I be scheduled this week? I have seen situations on a Tuesday where we'll go into an order or not able to make changes, and the order's in there. So it depends on what time they did that, but they should still be able to make the changes like tomorrow or whatever. But sometimes it will get tricky like that. We noticed that we haven't seen a lot of issues recently with that, have an issue like that, but we have in the past. But if your order is previewing, a lot of times I wouldn't mess with it. And sometimes you can actually ask them to do this. They might do this. We actually did this for a member the other day, or I guess it was a week ago. We actually added an option after it got scheduled. So a hitch could be something that could be added to your order after it gets scheduled, and they might take that change. It's their choice. They may or may not. Now, you can't add if you try to add something that's a constraint, they probably won't let you add it because they selected that order for a reason. But in a situation like this where, you know, the trailer hitch isn't a constrained item, you could probably add it to it even after it gets scheduled. So I'd wait and see what things look like. Make changes on Friday to Monday, and that's always my suggestion. Yeah, good luck there and see how that goes there. All right, Ryan said, well, McArthur, novice question. What does it mean when an order is previewing? That means that the factory is when they're looking at those orders. So basically, they've gone through the orders and they've actually kind of like in a sense said, okay, this. All right, this dealership gets 10 allocations. These are the 10 that we think would work for us. Because if you did see on the Maverick, all of them were Lariats. So evidently they're wanting to, within the weeks they're looking for with our region, they were kind of wanting Lariats that didn't have like luxury packages, right? And so then they picked some of our orders that had Lariat trim with the luxury or without the luxury package or some algorithm they have dictated. Then they'll preview those orders so that they kind of have those as previewing. So when they go to schedule, they can go, okay, boom, there we go, schedule. And so they're kind of in a sense just handpicking those orders. That's what previewing means. It means they're previewing those orders as being possible. Can they go ahead and schedule that one? Will that work in what they're looking to build those weeks, right? All right. Josh said, that was my email about the first edition Mav you read. Yes, it was. I didn't put your name in there because I actually had was trying to make room here, but it says, I guess what? It moved from built back down to in production. Oh, that's weird. Huh. Well, we'll have to see, I guess, huh? Yeah, we've actually seen that happen on a couple that we've seen. I haven't seen them actually go from built to in production or to, wait a minute. What did you say it went to from built to in production? So in production is the primary status. And then your secondary status could say produced or built or whatever. So on what you're seeing on the tracker may not be really dictate what it is. So see if your dealer can actually look that up and find that for you. So, all right, Wes said, when will we see a Lightning in new colors in person? Ordering a color blindly and a gamble. I did the same thing last year. Area 51 looks good in one picture, awful in the next. When is the latest to change color? Usually until it gets sent to the plant. So here's a situation. Let me show you these here. So these orders here that are already in production and sent to plant that are in yellow, those we couldn't make color changes. A lot of times once they get a scheduled today, we won't be able to make color changes on these. So you'll see they're scheduled a couple weeks out. So usually you have about 3 weeks out. So these here that are scheduled to the week 9/12. We should be able to make color changes to any of those orders. So anything that's scheduled to the day, usually those are iffy. Usually not, but once they're scheduled to week, usually a couple weeks out, you can change colors on those. But I know what you're talking about on color. When I chose smoke quartz, I was like, I hope it looks like it does in the pictures, right? Because it's not always 100% accurate. Now the Area 51, I think you'll be pleased with it. It's a darker blue. You could probably see some Area 51 Broncos out there. The image that we use at the beginning of the live stream, those are both Area 51s. One in Maverick and one in the Bronco that I have. So that tells you anything. They're pretty good colors. So I think you'll like it. All right. Will name match still be a consideration? Yes, it still will be. Or will dealers be able to start with the shady business again? No. Nope. So they're trimming everything to kind of work towards this new allocation system. So between getting dealers to do CLVPs and getting approved orders, they got them to finally start doing that. And then also when they come in, we're getting a little concerned because we are legitimately having customers not take their orders. We had one person that we had one on order. It wasn't produced yet. They were really need to get a vehicle. They were going to buy one off of our lot, and then theirs showed up like day or two after. We're like, could you please take the one that was ordered and let's back your deal up and take that one, because that's just another name match we don't have. I mean, like, if you remember, you watched me probably a couple weeks ago talk about my Expedition and how there's an Expedition that came in identical build to ours other than a different color, and I was so just thinking, can I just buy that one? And the dealer's like, we'd really like you to take the one he ordered because the more these non-name matches we get, the more it's going to hurt our allocations and possibly lose allocations for a whole month. And so it is still very important. The name match still exists and is very important, and they want to do that. So I know we have some people that have one on order, and you know, and they're considering, you know, with some of the changes to 23, maybe you want to go to 23. So we're kind of hoping that they'll, you know, take the one that they ordered. So we do, I recommend, if you are putting an order with us that you know, if you decide you're not going to take it, you do something else, please communicate with us. Cancel it as quick as possible. So if it's not scheduled, we can go ahead and cancel that order. So that way it doesn't hurt against us. So that's just something to think about, and just helping dealers out for that reason. Because if, you know, you might think, well, I don't really care about my dealer, but do you care about the people that are buying from that dealer? Because it's still, you know, let's help each other out here and be compassionate about other people that are getting from that dealer, that are nice people that are just wanting to get a vehicle, right? So all right. Diamond, is it Diamondbacker? Said, so no LM Bronco allocations for any October builds. Thank you. We actually had all 6 of ours scheduled last week. So in most situations, we have enough orders on certain models that we'll use all of our allocations for that model in the very first week that they can schedule for that month. So for us, we had 6 Bronco allocations. We get about 6 to 8 each month, and we had 6 of our allocations last month or last week. They all scheduled last week. Bronco Sport was the same way. We had 18 Bronco Sport allocations. They all were allocated last week. On the Maverick, 8 of our 18 were scheduled last week. We have 10 more that should schedule this week. So that's usually kind of how that works. So they try to do as many as they can, schedule out for several, the bulk of that, and then they fill in spots with your other builds, and you know, that's usually how that works. So yeah, so we did have 6 actually already scheduled. All right, Corbin said, can dealers charge over MSRP on custom order vehicles? Yes, they can. Since they're ordering through a dealer, technically that dealer can do what they want. That's why we're seeing a lot of bad stories out there where customers went into the dealer and said, I want to buy a Maverick. What do you know? And they'll go, okay, here's MSRP. And they go, okay, great. I want to order that with you guys. You're going to do MSRP. And they go, yeah, we're going to do that. And then 6 months, 9 months later, when the vehicle comes in, or even a year later, they see the market go up and they see that these Mavericks are going for $10,000 or whatever at the different auctions. And the one that they had, that customer didn't take, they were able to sell it for 10 grand without any problem. Then they're going to tell that customer, you know what, with them, we're going to have to, the price isn't going to be MSRP. It's going to be 5 grand over or 7 grand over. And if you don't want it, that's no big deal. We'll sell it for 10 grand over. They can do that. And that's not right. And that needs to stop. I wish Ford can figure a way to stopping that, because that's not right. And that's one of the things that we do when we hand in our CVP order, is not only do we hand in a copy of the order sheet with signed, but we also have them fill out and sign a buyer's order that says, this is the price, this is our dealer fee, and we sign it. You know, and that's telling Ford too that we're going to honor that price when it comes in, including price protection. So I just wish that Ford would make dealers, you know, I don't think that the buyer's sheet, or the buyer's order is what we call it, is mandatory for the COVP, but it should be. And they should have to hold those dealers to that. So that's a problem. And that's why that's one of the questions you want to ask your customers. Will you adjust prices based on the market, or are you going to keep to this price for me when that vehicle comes in? So, and what's terrible is that your dealer might tell you yes, 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 and then when it comes in, they don't do it. It's like, well, new management, you know, whatever. It's like, no. So anyway, but yes, technically they can, and that's a bad thing about it. So, all right, thoughts, McArthur, on Ford Ranger being pushed to 24. You can get a Ford Ranger for 23. It's not the next gen Ranger, but I don't know if you've watched, and maybe you haven't been watching along with us in this live stream. But when we did in the spring talk about the new next gen Ranger, I had read in that information that the next gen Ranger was releasing for 23 in Europe and 24 for the U.S. So the Ranger actually is a big starter in Europe. In fact, before we got the Ranger came back, it was in Europe for several years before we had it in the U.S. So that is one one vehicle that kind of starts in Europe and then comes over to the US. So the next gen Ranger is for 24 model year in the US. It's being released in 23 in several countries in Europe. In fact, I think they said they added 6 more countries in Europe that are going to be able to get the Ranger now. So, but yeah, that's not, yeah. So 24 for us. So it's not necessarily getting pushed at 24. That was their original intent all along. So. Joey said, Tim, will the Maverick still be able to remote start on Ford Pass with the hotspot removed? Yes. So you're removing there in the hotspot is availability to use your vehicle as a Wi-Fi hotspot. So right now, if I wanted to connect to internet in here and I don't want to use my data, then I'm going to look for a Wi-Fi here, right? So I'm like, okay, well, McArthur has a LMBiz Wi-Fi and they have a customer Wi-Fi. I can connect to that Wi-Fi. Well, on your vehicle, when you have the Wi-Fi hotspot, if the person that owns that vehicle wants to pay for the AT&T $20 a month membership or a sign on for the Wi-Fi hotspot, then you can create a hotspot for people that are riding along with you to connect their vehicle, their phone to the vehicle to get internet, and go, hey, do you have? Can I connect to your vehicle here? I want to get on the internet while we're driving. You drive, and I'll get on the internet. That just won't allow you to be able to do that. So then the customer, basically everybody else in the vehicle, is just on their own in a way for internet. So, and so the Ford's, yeah, you're not allowed to do that. So that's the difference. Ford Pass and all the capabilities to be able to connect to Ford Pass, you're still going to have the embedded modem and everything else. You just won't have the functionality to connect to the Wi-Fi within the vehicle. Where was I? All right, Wes said, any plan? Or maybe you've done it already, to create a step-by-step video about order reservation, online reservation to order process for reservation holders. The only vehicle that has online reservation right now is the Lightning, and reservations are closed on the Lightning. Everything else you order with the dealer. So you don't order any of the other Ford vehicles. You don't order them online. They started with the Mach-E, first electric vehicle, online reservation orders, and I believe they're still going to do that now, because I noticed when I tried to build out Mach-E, it wouldn't let me because I wanted to do that because we have a customer who wants to order one. Give us some specs. So your electric vehicles are the ones that need to reserve, and you can order online. Those are the only ones that allow you to do that. The Maverick, they had an online reservation, but it wasn't an online order. So the reservation went to the dealer. The dealer was to contact the customers and said, okay, how do you want to order it? And they still ordered it within the dealership, the 4 walls. And then the Bronco was one where you did a reservation and you converted the reservation over to an order, and you did it with the dealership, but you didn't actually order online. You still did it through the dealership. So those are the only vehicles. So, but I have done a video on the process once you submit your order, on the different steps on last week's live stream if you want to check that video out. All right, John said, with the hotspot being deleted on Mavs, do you know if that is something that can be added back on at a later date? I don't think so, but I'm not sure. Because at one point they had said, because a microchip holds, a lot of these you're going to be removing, but you could add them later. But I haven't heard any talk about that recently, about being able to add those things later. Wow, I'm way behind. So I scrolled down and it just popped down and I missed a bunch of comments, and now I'm way behind. There we go. So I don't think so. I wouldn't guarantee it. So all right, so Vicky said, Tim, please check my order D39S, my Maverick, sitting a long time. Yep, we actually talked about it earlier. You might not have been in here, but this is from Saturday. Where's more, Matt? This is from Saturday, so D39S is yours right there, right? D39S. So as of Saturday, it returned from the body company and is waiting on a chip hold. We can look at it now real quick. Let me pop off of this. So again, probably better not do that online on the screen here. Don't want to get myself in trouble, close down the live stream or anything. Let's just look and see what it is since Saturday. See if there's any update. I was going to try to weekly go through those orders and try to keep those update and check those out for everybody, but it is now, says the same thing. So it is still currently waiting on that chip hold. So probably what'll happen is you'll probably get an email before I will, and they'll be able to look at it. Once you get that chip, it'll actually go to released like that, because yours says return from body company. The only reason it doesn't say produced is because it went to the body company. Otherwise, if it didn't have to go to the body company, then it would say produced. So produced or body company if it's waiting on a chip. So at this point, once it gets its chip, it'll actually say released. So you'll probably get an email once you, as soon as it gets released, this microchip gets released, you'll get an email. So you'll probably know before we will. So, but well, we'll keep checking it out though. All right, John said, I'm gonna have to go this route. All right, John says, got a call from my dealer that my Maverick is previewing. I'll be surprised if it gets scheduled. Ordered January 7th. Lariat Lux package, 4K, tow, moonroof, Copilot 360. You're probably saying that because you're seeing that there are a lot of people that with that they said they weren't going to schedule those, but we do have some from January. In fact, one of the orders is previewing is dated January 27th. So, but it does not have anything added. It's a Lariat with no Copilot, no luxury, no added options. It's just a Lariat EcoBoost. Boom. So, yeah. So anyway, so some of those EcoBoost orders, I think they're looking for ones without the Copilot 360. Yours does have it, but if it's previewing though, that's a pretty good shot. All right. Let's see another message. Gary says, over on my M22J hybrid, making the 22 cut. M22J. When did you order? You ordered that October 7th? I think you got a really good chance. Let's look here. Is that one of the ones that we mentioned earlier? You know what? I'm so far behind on the comments. Somebody might have even been able to tell you that. We did have 10 previewing. Was yours included? Was not included. So this, I believe, is the last month they were scheduling. Well, maybe not since they moved it. We might be scheduling one more month. But we'll have to see if they're scheduling another month. I would say under at this point. Well, I don't know, what is the over under. It's not. I'd say it probably won't schedule, just because it's not previewing for this week, and we'll be out of allocations after this week probably. So if it doesn't schedule this week, and if we don't get any more allocations, then I would say it's gonna go to 23. All right, Vol said, lots of questions regarding the hotspot removal. Will it be permanent? That's a great question. I don't know. They haven't said anything to us. And normally, if it can be added later, they will tell us that it's going to be removed, and you'll be able to add it at a later date. But basically, it's a microchip that it's going to need. I don't know if they, if they think the dealers can add those or not. But again, Wi-Fi, the hotspot removal just doesn't allow people to be able to connect to your vehicle using the Wi-Fi hotspot. So that means basically, and if you do get the Wi-Fi hotspots, you still have to get a membership. So if you had the Wi-Fi hotspots, you would have to sign up for a membership to be able to get it. So basically it works. It's basically another phone that's getting internet access. So like you're getting internet for your house, you have to get a plan for your car to have Wi-Fi so that people can connect to it for free. But then the person that has it has to pay. So hopefully it made sense on that. That's not something I've used. I've had the capability on my vehicles for years, and of course, it might be because I have unlimited data on my phone, but I actually feel like I get better internet with my phone data than I do from any Wi-Fi hotspots anyway. Claire says, what months were those orders for hybrid Lariat that are previewing from? Well, let's just look. I'd actually have to click each one. I think on all the hybrids, they were from October. That one's November 2nd. So I think because they're looking at Lariats, they're scattered. This one's October 20th, October 22nd, October 28th, October 22nd, and October 15th. And I think there was one at the top that I missed. October 2nd. So most of them October. There was one in November, early November. Like I said, common theme was Lariat trim. So if I look at my orders back here, give me a second. I keep all these in here. So let me look at my unscheduled orders. So if I'm looking at hybrid only, come on, pop up. There we go. So if I look at the ones that are from October that are unscheduled, are all those. And how many of those are Lariats? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Almost all of them. So there you go. But we do have several of these that still have constraint items on there. I don't know why I don't take those off. Anyway, so yeah, not sure exactly where I'm going with that, but there you go. All right, where was I? Oh yeah, okay, here we got Cruiser says, when I order my Maverick Tremor on 9/15, we don't actually know we can order on 9/15, by the way. So people are throwing out that date because it's what the fleet news bulletin has out there. That's just a guide for commercial businesses. That is not going to be concrete. In fact, Ford has not given a date yet. All the media, everything that Ford has said mid-September. Just throwing that out there. I've seen people mention that 9/15. We have had no confirmation on an exact date yet. I think we're going to get information soon. Can't say anything else. I know some information, but I can't say anything. But anyway, I think we'll get information soon. Just bear with us on that and maybe get confirmation on some dates. But again, just like with this one, Expedition was supposed to order bank was supposed to open up on the 15th of August. And then on 15th of August, they said, oh, order bank is going to open up for Expedition on Friday. Okay. So Friday, we get a note, order bank's going to open up on Monday. So it kept moving. So just because an order bank's going to open up, if they say it's going to open up, even if they do say it's going to open up September 15th, I'm not saying that, just telling you guys right now, then I wouldn't say it's going to happen that day. I would be almost guaranteed it's going to be the next day. And if it is going to be that day, it's going to be 4 p.m. And I'm going to be here all night that night if that happens like that. So, yeah, I mean, usually like any day, like when Bronco Sport released, hey, it was going to open up on the 2nd, right? Here I am. I'm like, okay, it's 10 a.m. Oh, can't order. 10:30. Nope, can't order. 11. Nope, can't order. 11:50. Yeah, I mean, I'm constantly checking to see if I can order one. And that's what it's going to be like that day. So there's no guarantee that it's going to be that anytime. I know it won't be in the morning. I haven't seen one yet that's opened and was been available that morning, unless it actually opened in the evening time and we were able to order. So, and that would be a really bad case if we're sitting here going, okay, we can't order, and then here I am at home on my computer at 8 p.m. Can we order? Nope. Can we order? Nope. So, and we've had it to where some mornings it's open that morning at 8 a.m. because it actually opened up at midnight. And so kind of crazy. All right. Sean said, I just wanted to shout out J. Hatfield Ford and Sarcoxy, Missouri. Got a Bronco Sport at MSRP off the lot after I called almost 30 other dealers, all mark up over MSRP. There you go. Good job. So yeah, that's where we're getting to. Yeah, it's funny because we have it's funny, we have a J. Hatfield Honda here down in Wichita, which is not too far from us. It's kind of funny, but there you go. All right, good shout out there. All right, Jason said, what latitude do dealers have to push a clean order into their allocation queue? Any dealers at mercy of Ford picking clean orders? No. What happens typically is that it's not that, it's that, oh, Jennifer, thank you very much for the donation. And looks like we had a member too join, a new member, Matthew. So thank you very much. And Kevin, thanks for the donation. So since I'm behind on my chat over here, I'm not seeing those right away. So thank you. But back to your question, Jason, it's not that dealers want to, it's that it happens. So we've had customer vehicles come in and that they don't take it for some reason. They got another vehicle or something and it becomes available. We definitely want any order that comes in to go to that customer, because if we don't, we get under our percentages, it's going to cost us more allocations than what we had gained by marking up one vehicle. If we have a vehicle that comes in and we say, hey, we can make 10 grand on that. Do you know how many, if we get under our number, if we lose 100 allocations for 1 month, how much that's going to cost the dealership? It's not worth it. you know, we're going to sell it to the vehicle to that customer that came in. We're not going to mark it up so we can do that. We just have seen the other dealers do that because they don't always look at the way that we do. So anyway. All right. Ken, now that I have my Lightning Pro, I am looking for Ford ESP options. Question, does the 8-year plan extend the battery warranty to 150,000 miles over the 8 years? I'm hearing conflicting info. That is a great question, Ken. I don't know, because actually I was thinking about this. I'm like, do I really need a warranty? I got a 8-year, 100,000 on the battery and the motors, and don't need to worry about. Well, so I didn't get a warranty on mine, but that is then I got to thinking about that. I'm like, there may be, you know, if I want to have it over 100,000 miles or longer than 8 years. For me, I don't, but some people will own it for that long. Maybe, you know, maybe you can't. I mean, you can, but I don't know. Not sure on that. So it's a good question. I have to look into that and see. I'd assume that it's not gonna. It might tack on a little bit, but I'm not sure. I'll have to check on that for you. So I'll write that down and try to check on that. And Ken, if you want to email me at the Timothy Bart's down there, and I'll get that answer for you about the ESP on a Lightning, or is it the 8-year plan? Yeah, I'll check on that on the on if it extends it to 150 or not. So I'll get clarification for sure, because our guys know what they're doing back there, and we'll get that clarification for you there. But yeah, just email me so I have your email address. I can email you back. If I don't get an email from you, then we'll just I'll talk about it next week. I'll get the answer for you and give you the answer next week. Chris says, when is Ford going to push building the 23 Bronco Sport? Well, can order it right now. So, yep, I've actually done a video. Let's see how many videos I have on that. I have 8 videos on the Bronco Sport, 23 Bronco Sport already. So, yeah, I've been pumping it. You know, the order bank's opened up 8.2, 8.3, somewhere around there for the Bronco Sport and for the 23, and not a lot of changes on most of them, but there are 2 new trims, the Heritage and the Heritage Limited, that's available and can be ordered right now. We think we already have 10 or 20 orders already for the Bronco Sport 23. So yep. Now the build-in prices are always going to be delayed. So if you wait for them to thinking, hey, when the build-in price is up, that's when I can order them. That's not the case. You want to stay updated with your dealer or with me. Just keep coming back to Livestream. I'll keep you updated. All right. Jacob said, hey y'all, quick question. If my email is correct with Ford for my order, what would be keeping me from receiving any updates? My dealer had to forward my order confirmation to me. Probably what happened is they did not get the correct email address when they first ordered it, and so now when Ford's sending it out, they're sending out to that email address that's incorrect. So they're sending it to the wrong place. They can go into the order and update that information. They can't change the original one, but there is 2 of them. What I typically do with any orders that I'm going to be put in for all of our Maverick Key people and my members is that I'm going to put my email address in there as well, so that way I'm getting the notification when they're getting the notification, and I might forward mine on to them just to make sure that they received it in case I did make an incorrect error on their email address. So but check with your dealer. If they didn't put a secondary email address, they can correct it and put the correct email address in there, and then all the notifications should come in to you. Haven't had that question in a while. Thanks. All right, so Michael said, can 23 model year colors be used on these late 22 Maverick builds? Colors be used on these late 22 Maverick builds, like Atlas Blue? No. They will not cross over because that'll just totally ruin everything. So they won't do that. What colors are available for 22? They use that. The order guides are very specific of this is the way these can be built for 22. Anything changes for 23 cannot be back onto those others, as well as going forward too. If they have new colors, you can't have a color that was available, like Velocity Blue will not be available in any 23 build, just like the Atlas Blue will not be put on any 22 colors or any 22s. They will not cross over. So all right, Vol said, saw on the tracker I was in production 8/16. Spreadsheet showed L29S as sent to plant today. Can we specify? Yeah, this was, just so you know, this is from Saturday. So when I did this, when I went through these, that was on Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. That was my that's what I did instead of went out partied or anything. That's what I do for entertainment on a Saturday night right there. So anyway, so yeah, when I did that, let's see, what was your order number? I can't remember. L29S, right? Yeah. It says sent to plant. Let's look it up now. And like I said, that's when it was Saturday. So if you got something different, then that just happened. So, and oh, that does say 823. Well, today it would be in production, right? Because yeah, well, according to what I have, it still says sent to plant on the 18th, but that may not be as accurate. So, because 823 was the day it's supposed to be built, right? It's supposed to be built starting today. So, yeah, it should be in production today. So, getting close. Balls has been with me for a while. So, yeah, you've been waiting. So, I'm excited to see yours get built for you. So, all right, the WB tracker says in production 812. Do not filled. Not filled. And Ford customer service says their resource says delivery to dealer ETA 827 to 92. Does that realistically make sense? Tracker says in production 812. And Ford customer service says resource. They'll put an ETA on it. So once you get in production, I think it receives an ETA. Well, like this one for Vols, it doesn't have an ETA yet. So once it gets in the middle of production, then usually we'll tell you that. So. Oh, we got Town and Country in here. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you coming into the live stream. You should have had you earlier when we were talking about the topic. I don't know if you were in here or not, but you probably could shed some light for us on the new allocation system. But thanks for the donation. Appreciate it. So always fun to watch your content, and enjoyed watching that one on your 10 things you like about your Lightning. So I actually saw that and went, man, I should have done a video like that, because there are things that I like about my Lightning and things I don't like. So it's always fun to, actually not a lot that I don't like, but anyway, so yeah, thanks for joining in here. I appreciate it. So, all right, let's see. Way behind on my comments here. So EMGT said, I finally received a VIN and build week of September 12th on my Bronco Badlands. When does the window sticker usually come available? Usually when it gets, for us, it says sent to plant, that kind of thing. Probably about September 1st, somewhere around there, probably. Let's see some of these ones that had the status that were sent to plant on ours. You know, the last one in here was 825. You know, that's probably has a window sticker. So usually about a week or so, I believe. I mean, it just depends. Things are different with each model, so it's really hard to tell. But sometimes about a week to 2 weeks out is when you'll be able to see your window sticker. So, all right, Lassiter said, if those customers who are being charged over MSRP and decline to buy the vehicle, then that would count as a non-sold to order name and count against the dealer. Correct. Yes, that is correct. So it does count against them. So that's why the dealer is going to want to sell their vehicle that was ordered to them. Any dealer that's not, it's just, I don't know. I don't see dealers wanting to do that. I mean, I don't think it really benefits them. Kind of like us talking about why we wouldn't mark up a vehicle. You know, it doesn't really help us. We want to turn those vehicles to gain allocations and get more allocations to sell, be able to help more customers get their vehicles. Us, marking a vehicle up and holding on to it for a longer period of time, and we don't have a sold for that. Like if we have, like right now, we have one Bronco Sport in stock, and we hold on to that, and we don't have any Bronco sales. Well, 0 Bronco sales for us for a month is going to hurt our allocations for other months. So we'd rather, sell that one at MSRP instead of marking it up and getting a sale, so we can earn another allocation, for future months. So that's, you want to keep going like that. Yeah, Mitch, exactly. At the end, I was like, after I went through it with everybody, I'm like, so yeah, real simple, right? So not really. So it's kind of like they're people would ask, hey, now you can figure out how scheduling happens. I'm like, I don't even know if there's anybody that knows exactly how the algorithm works. So somebody very smarter than any of us. So, all right, Bobby said, Tim, you've been emailing about the TO2B. It didn't get scheduled. Does this mean we lost our chances? Not necessarily, because I think there's still another month of allocation for Bronco, but I'm not sure. But again, that was kind of like just kind of put that out there, that if the region is wanting to schedule a big bin, if we don't have any big bins in there for customers, then we may, we won't be able to fulfill that allocation. Then if we had a stock one in there, then we could fulfill it. But we'll just have to see. We know that we can't order a new retail order for a Bronco until possibly first of the year. We don't know when that date's going to be. Fourth quarter is what they're saying. So we'll just have to see there. So may we see your question? Otherwise, oh wait, yeah. Put the @ McArthur. I can see it a little bit better. I'm trying to grab some of these that are in here. A lot of questions about the Wi-Fi hotspot. Oh, I just froze. I might be missing some questions. All right, here we go. Jennifer, did you just... Oh, okay, that's from earlier. All right. So Gary said, what is the typical gap for the end of the model year to the next model year? Educated guess on the Maverick. Usually it's a couple days, a week, I think, or something. I think originally their intent was to go switch from 22 to 23, and the plant was going to be down like 3 days before start building the 23. So it's a pretty short time. They keep it going. They shut it down to retool for 23 and everything, and then they get it going up again. So it's usually not down for too long. So Chad says, what's your oldest hybrid Maverick order that hasn't scheduled? October. What was it we were looking at here? October 1st. So, and actually that one got canceled. So October 2nd. Let me delete that one. October 2nd. Yep. We have how many in October still unscheduled? We have 30 in October still unscheduled, and then I think 20 in November, something like that. All right. William says, does the Ford Maverick have a 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty? Is that correct? No. On the hybrid, I think the hybrid components, the battery and motor and such, is 8-year, 100,000. Not 10, but 8, if that's what you're talking about on a hybrid. All right, DB said, do you worry ICE engine vehicles will quickly decrease in value over the next few years as EV improve in performance and desire? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's hard to tell, but I don't think so. I mean, there's still a lot of people. I mean, we only have what 5% of the country that's decided to go EV. There's still a lot of people out there that are not, going over that. Now for hybrid, seeing more hybrids, yes, but again, battery production is going to be an issue there. I don't think we're going to see that. So I think values are still going to be fine on your EcoBoosts, on all your gas engines for quite a while here. All right, let's see here. Kubbi says, Tim, FYI, no one has contacted me yet. I'm seeing orders placed after me are getting scheduled. Now, I think yours is the one that we got a hold of the brand manager on, if I remember right. And didn't we say that it did have an RLVP, though? It did have an approved order, if I remember right. So that's a good thing. You might call Ford customer support to see if you got scheduled, because they did. The brand manager, I think, it was your order that said, it was either yours or the other person. We had 2 that contacted me on that. And your names on here are different than what you guys send me in your emails. So you might check again, if I remember right, you might check Ford customer support and see, and give them their order number and see if you've been scheduled or not. So, all right, Tim, how long total did it take to get your Lightning from order placed to delivery? Ordered it in February. I believe right around March 1st, I believe, and then I received it in the middle of July 15th is when it showed up, or July 14th, 12th, somewhere in there. So 5 months, not even that long, 3 months, 4 months. So they're turning those a little bit quicker once you get scheduled, and I got to get scheduled pretty quick because I left bed covers and everything off mine just to make sure. But anyway, all right. Let's see. Ragnar said, Ford has launched a bunch of hot vehicles lately. Looking back, what's your most memorable pre-2020 launch? 05 Mustang sticks out in my mind. Hmm. I don't know. It's a great question, to be honest. Um, I don't know. I can't answer that. Putting me on the spot. All right. Z said, McArthur, when does Ford usually update their site with the new order information, build, and prices? They have told us it's about 2 to 3 weeks, but the F-150 is still not updated, and it's been over a month. So I think, but F-150 has so many trims, so many configurations. It probably will take longer to do that vehicle than others. I was kind of looking at Ranger because Ranger was on 8.2, and Ranger isn't updated. They have 3 trims, so it might be a little bit easier. And they're still not updated, and it's been what now, 2 weeks, a couple weeks since it launched. I guess almost 3 weeks, I guess now. So it's still not updated. So I did check those out last night, and none of them have been updated yet. So 2 3 weeks, maybe longer. So all right, mine is an Iowa one. That's the first I had heard about our RVP. Okay, so now I might. I think yours was the one. Yeah, yours was in the same region as us, but I don't have the same zone manager as us. So I believe your order was one that the region was supposed to reach out and they were supposed to call you, and then I thought that I emailed. Email me again your information. I'll send it to the brand manager. Seems like I'm getting more information from them. But I thought that you would email me about that because I want to double check because I could have swore that I emailed you back on that, but I might be getting you confused with somebody else. So yeah, so email me again and let me just pass it on to the brand manager this time. So weren't able to get the dealership to contact you. We'll try to do that. So Tim, how do you like your F-150 Lightning? I love it. I really enjoy it. I did keep the Bronco. First time keeping an extra vehicle. Wife drives the Bronco actually quite a bit, and there's times where I'd rather just jump in the F-150 than the Bronco. I really feel like being the Lariat trim and everything, it just has great performance, and just I love the fact that the power's there when I need it, and I also like that I pass the gas stations. I actually made a joke on Twitter the other day. I said, well, I'm heading to the gas station in my F-150 Lightning. Never thought I'd say that because I needed to get gas for my gas mower. So I took the Lightning to the gas station, which was really weird doing that. But then I thought back and I'm like, I haven't been to the gas station in like 6 weeks. This is nice. It's pretty cool not to have to pay for gas. And I'm not using that much electricity. That's really cool. So I do like that. So I think I'm going to enjoy that for the longevity of the vehicle. So yeah. So how do you okay. So Chris said, I ordered mine from Preston Ford in Hurlock, Maryland. I got the buyer's sheet and signed it, but they didn't give me a buyer's order. Should I get one? That's not a requirement for dealers to send to get an approved order. That's something we've done, and we've noticed a lot of ours have gotten approved a lot quicker because we're getting 2 signatures, and maybe they're looking at that, and maybe if one signature is a little fuzzy or something, but they see the other one, then they get it. That's just something we've done on all of our orders. And also, it's just something we like to see, customers to see that we are going to sell it to them at MSRP, and here's our dealer fee, and it doesn't change. So, like for us, our dealer fee actually went up the 1st of the January, and so we had customers that we had signed buyer's order on the old doc fee or admin fee, and so we're honoring that on their new orders. So a lot of them we deduct that increase that we had on the we can't change the doc fee from the January 1, or that's what we have in our system. But what we're doing is decreasing the price to keep. We're even price protect them on our doc fees. So we even do that as well. So that way, if it ever goes up in the middle at the end of the year, which is usually when we'd see that increase, they're locked in still with that pricing because we said we'd do that on the original buyer's order. So yeah. All right. If I am ordering a Maverick from a dealer that has a great deal of fleet sales, will that affect my custom order because of the dealer's allocations in fleet sales? That's a great question. I don't work much with the fleet sales side of things. I don't know if I'd be able to answer that. So I have to. I think they're done. I don't think fleet allocations are taken off of that, but I don't know. Another question. Then I'm going to write down, get the answer to. All right, Jim said, is there any way to order a special color for a Maverick? No. The colors that are available, you can do wraps. We had a company that race red was not available on the Maverick, so he did a complete wrap on his Maverick. It cost a lot of money, but he wanted it because it was for his business. He wanted to match up with the race red of his other vehicles, and so he did a wrap on it. That would be about the only thing you can do is doing a wrap. All right, Keith said, just curious as to what Ice Mountain looks like nowadays. Oh, well, right now it's probably not Ice Mountain, right? I don't know. We do have one still from January sitting over there waiting on a chip. Not sure how that one's been passed over, but I think we only have one that's sitting there waiting to get the chip put in it. But otherwise, I'm not sure. We go to Bronco 6G. I think that people are keeping an eye on it. So I know there are people that drive by and get footage every once in a while. But I think, I don't think the chip holds a real big problem. I think it's kind of filtering around right now. I do think there's an issue down in Mexico because of some of the ones we've had with chip hold, some of the ones that we're seeing with the Bronco Sport as well. But I don't think all plants are like that. I mean, the Expedition plant or Kentucky plant was like that for the Expedition and maybe even some Navigators. But our list isn't real long and the vehicle on wheels isn't real long. So I don't think it's a huge issue, but it is a little bit of issue. And it just seems like lately, I guess it's now July, into August now, but those ones from July sitting in the plant. I think the biggest thing is if they don't have chips and they run out of chips at one point and vehicles get built without them, it just takes a while for those vehicles to get the chips put in them. Just because it's not on the line, it's a lot more difficult to get to them, to put those in, than they are when they're just on the line and they just can move it along, right? So, all right, how does AZXD plans work for dealers? Do you get reimbursed by Ford after the vehicle's sold? We do get a dealer cash, basically, that goes on the car deal for all those plans. So if there's an A plan or D plan or anything, then we get a certain amount. So since it's below invoice, we do get a certain amount from Ford. Probably goes in the dealer payment statement more than likely. So, all right, Jim says, I thank you, Tim. They need to come with eruption green. So yes, I think eruption green will look good in the Maverick. All right, Stevie O said placed F-150 Lightning Pro order on 8/1. Is it true that delivery is estimated by next autumn? Yeah, I would think so. I don't remember mine actually having an ETA of when it should be here when I ordered mine, but maybe it did. I just wasn't paying attention to it. You get more information once you get once it gets scheduled, and then you can get an actual scheduled production date. Those, like on the Lightning, mine stayed pretty true to where it was. I think it actually moved back a week and then moved back up and then moved around within the week a little bit, but it stayed pretty close to the week when it originally had told me. So, all right. Being you are in the middle of the farm community, do you feel the farmers will be slow to accept the Lightning? I would assume the construction industry will greatly accept it. Some. But what's the great benefit of having an electric vehicle out in the field, right? If you need to power something and you're in the middle of a field, what's better than having an F-150 Lightning, right? And believe it or not, a lot of the farmers over here do not like your ICE vehicles, your internal combustion engine, because you can actually you can start a fire in a field real easily sometimes with those if they get dirt and stuff up underneath there and in the engine compartment. So a lot of them actually want to go to diesel and have wanted a diesel F-150 for that reason, and then it just didn't do well. I could see them actually wanting a Lightning out in the fields. I think it would be better for them. They probably would see the value in it and being able to do that work out there and then having the outlets and having that electricity available wherever they're at. But we haven't seen a lot of people around here, embrace it yet, but I've seen quite a few coming in here. The thing about the farming community is they're used to going in and looking at a vehicle and buying it. They're not used to having to order and wait. They want to see it, feel it, touch it, sit in it, drive it. That's what a farmer wants to do. That's what we found. So not having the actual inventory, that's why we really don't like having vehicles, not having stock vehicles for our farmers to come look at. Because, come the end of the year, they're like, my accountant says that I need to get a truck, or whatever. They want to buy it now. They don't want to wait. So Sorry if I offend any farmers from that little accent. Didn't mean to. So. Anyway, all right. How hard do you think it will be to get a Bronco Sport Heritage Limited given the 1966 production limit? We have 4 on order, so I don't know. So my assumption is they'll lock that out or balance it out when you can't order one. So as long as you can place an order, we should be receiving those orders, and those should be scheduled. I guess until they actually schedule, we won't know for sure. But you know, that was one of my, um, somebody else asked me that how do you know that you're actually getting yours, even though you're able to order one? How do you know that yours is going to get selected as one of the 1966? My assumption is that when they cap out on those orders, that their system's not going to allow the next person to go ahead and order and submit that, and it'll balance that out. So I guess we'll find out. So that's another question I have for my Ford rep come Monday. So. Martin says, does the McArthur plan to offer links to Tim's videos on every vehicle sold? How to get the most from your new Ford? Like they do. Well, they do a pretty good job on Ford's website, and don't want to, of course. I mean, my videos don't get near the views that theirs will, and such. But I have on the Maverick. I did a couple videos on home delivery on where the buttons are, and going through the interior, as well as talk about the bed, the flex bed and such like that on the Maverick. I haven't done that on the Lightning and such and different things. But and speaking of a guy that did a really good extensive video, if I don't know if Town and Country TV is still in here or not, but he did a really good video on the Sync 4A and the Lightning. Very thorough, hour-long video, and if you do a good thorough video on those, they're going to be that long. So he did a really good thorough video on that. And so that would be one to look at if you're looking at getting a vehicle that has, if your Lightning has the Lariat or Platinum and you have that Sync 4A, that'd be a good video to watch as well, because he does a really good job in there. So, all right. All right. So we got, is Copilot a chip issue? The Copilot 360? No, I don't believe so. Those aren't. I think the issue is how many they're putting in the vehicles. Uh-oh, the wife's in here. All right, it says, but your wife has fueled both vehicles in the last month while it, yep. Okay, so she's she's in the live stream. Yes, I haven't been to the gas station, but she has been to the gas station. But at least we're saving a little bit on fuel, right? Because the Expedition isn't cheap on fuel. All right, Keith says, do you see the shipping problems easing up from the factories once the vehicles are produced? The rail systems and tracking issues. I think I've seen them ease up a little bit. It seems like, there for a while we were struggling. It was taking an extra week once a vehicle got to Kansas City. That's going a little quicker. It seems like since, since the I don't know, the summer, it seemed like June or so, it seemed like that, like when mine came really quick. I mean, it was shipped off right in Kansas City within a couple of days that they got it here. So I think it has eased up this summer some. So hopefully, that's helped a lot. So, all right, Stevio says, to clarify, the website said estimated delivery date autumn of 23. Okay, so that's probably pretty accurate. If it takes, let's say a month to get scheduled, we're talking into September, and then let's say, if it gets scheduled in September, it's probably going to be for like an October or November build date, probably November build date. So then December, I think that's actually a little far out there, but I mean, they could also be scheduling so far in advance or ordering so far in advance that could be pretty accurate. So, oh wait, they said autumn of 23, right? That shouldn't take that long. So maybe they're still using the wording from last year. It's autumn of 22, and they just changed it to 23. All right, Town Country, yeah, still here. No problem. Yep. There are some really good people doing some really good videos. Town and Country, you guys are one of them. Always on top of things there. So, and always getting that creative juices of cool videos that people are looking for. So that's always good. So, yes. All right, and then Mark said my Maverick XLT hybrid with Copilot 360. It says in production week of 8/16. Webpage still says in production. Is this normal? All right, in production week of 8/16. Webpage still says in production. It's normal. There's usually about a week. Some of those they'll go into production. They'll be there for a week. Especially if you have yours says with Copilot. You didn't say the luxury package, but sometimes that can take a couple days. I know that mine went into production and it was a week before I got the email that said it was produced. So that's pretty normal. That's typical. So should be hearing something pretty soon. All right, Jim said, will the 23XL Maverick have any optional wheels other than the steel wheels? Yes, we did see, I don't have that graphic in front of me, but we did see the technical specs. Do I still have it in here? I don't. Oh, I know where it's at. Okay, I have it. I keep everything. Sometimes I just got to find where I put it. So we do have information from the technical specs when they launched the information on the Tremor package. Come on. They released the technical specs, and they probably didn't think that this was a big deal when they did this. Where'd it go? Oh, I don't have it. I don't have it here. Anyway, there it is. Okay, so when they released the technical specs under the wheels, because they wanted to release that so that people could see the wheel options. But under the wheel optional wheel, there is one that says 17-inch machine face carbonized gray aluminum wheel available on XL and XLT. So that's kind of a little clue that we will be seeing an optional wheel in the XL for this year. So that we think so anyway, according to that technical spec guide. So that's probably something they didn't think people would catch. And someone else had gone on there and caught that there's also a black appearance package wheel. So we'll be seeing a black appearance package in the Maverick as well, looks like. All right. All right, Mark said a few negatives for a Lightning for a farmer. Cost, availability for a gooseneck hitch, ground clearance, although they're not that much lower than I don't feel than an F-150. And I know that it depends on what configuration you have. You probably don't want to lift up the front of it. I thought about doing a front lift until actually I watched Town and Country's video, and I'm like, well, maybe I don't want to do that because I got the Blue Cruise and I don't want to affect that. So so there are some things there. Also, it says, I know some of the farmers do like the upper models. Don't know how well they hold up in fields. We do have a lot of farmers that like the King Ranch Lariat is usually what they get, and they like those trims. So, and we even see some of them even getting the platinums. So, all right, Martin says, in the 23 Maverick order bank date is still scheduled for the 15th. We actually don't know. Ford has never released an actual date. They've said mid-September. So, and with the way things have been moving around lately with a lot of these build dates, I don't think we can guarantee any dates right now at this present time. A lot of them are just tentative dates, and we'll just have to see how things go. Have you tracked how many additional customers from outside of your local area you have gotten since the YouTube channel started taking off? Curious how much it helps with sales. How many additional customers since this? Well, really when the live streams I think really started taking off, I guess they started doing the live streams. That's when the order banks were closing. So it's hard to tell. At least on the Maverick, most of the people that started coming to live stream came because of the Maverick, and a couple of them have come over since then. Because of that are looking at other models, because we're covering all the different models here. But most of the people were coming over because of the Maverick. And at that point, in November, the Maverick closed. But we did see a big jump in January in orders. And I don't know if it's because of the live stream or not, but I think that was part of it, of maybe doing that. So, all right, could also be a question for Town and Country. Yeah, be a great question for them. So you can jump in there. So he says, yep, I refuse to level my Lightning of fear of Blue Cruise glitching out. I've seen many horror stories in service. Yeah, that's true. So I mean, I've seen a struggle in some people being able to get theirs to activate at all. Mine actually activates briefly in town if I try it on some of the roads that are they get up there on speed a little bit. So, but yeah, I mean, I think I thought about getting some different wheels for mine, but at this point, I really have left mine pretty much stock. Bed cover, spray and liner is pretty much it, other than the graphics on the back that I've added. Um, the lettering, fill in the letters in the back. But so, all right. Anything else? Great question. I haven't actually. I think Town and Country did load up the bed. I actually have, it's in my watch later. I'll get to it. I promise. But I think he did a video on the bed and how it affects the distance. So maybe he can answer that for the how it affects the your Blue Cruise. So maybe he tried to Blue Cruise while he had a load back there. But I would assume that Ford was thinking about that and probably won't affect it. And that's why, they has a pretty good amount of payload and probably know that that's where, it will still be able to work. So 1100. And I assume yours was built early enough. I know mine still has the onboard scales, which is really nice. So I'm very fortunate that mine was built with the onboard scales. So no issues with Blue Cruise. Cool. Thank you. I didn't think it would. I know Ford's usually pretty good about making sure that all works pretty well, but you never know. All right. Well, Jacobs, thanks for coming on in. All right. Well, we're getting to 9 o'clock. 2 hours in now. So I keep telling people, well, it keeps getting later and later. So anyway, so we're at 9 o'clock, and I probably need to call her and get home and get some food, see what's going on at home. But thanks to everybody coming in. Thank you for Mitch for joining us as well, and for everybody else that's in here. Appreciate you guys coming in. I got a couple of questions for next week, so we'll come back and try to answer those that I wasn't able to answer. And if you have any other questions, don't forget, see if I get this right, right over here, FordVideoGuy@gmail. If you have any other questions, Sarah and I can help you with those questions as well, and so we can help you answer any of those questions. And if you do have one of those questions that I wasn't able to answer because I needed to research a little bit, make sure you email those to me and we'll get those answered. Martin, thank you very much. My wife asked me if I got any exercise once. I told her I took a lot walk with Tim, being part of the crew. Yep. So thank you very much. And thanks everybody for joining me today and just checking out the last couple questions. All right. Well, don't forget, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe. You know the deal there. And don't forget, smash that like button if you haven't already. I really appreciate it, everybody, if you smash that like button, and we'll get you. Now, don't forget about all the videos we have going live this week. The Platinum Lightning video will be going live tomorrow, as well as the start getting onto the Ranger building price as well this week, and we'll get those knocked out too, and then move on to some of the other models. So anyway, and don't forget, I will probably Mach-E, hopefully, if it launches and we get the order guide by the end of this week, we'll do a video, maybe go live Friday or Saturday for that one as well. So be looking for that. So again, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys next week, unless you come over to the Facebook Live on Thursday, and then we'll see you then. All right, thanks, guys.